Yeah, welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Today is June 1st. Welcome to the new month to everybody that is joining. Welcome to the new month to all of you. Let me know where you're joining in from. Welcome to the new month to each and every one of you. It's such a pleasure to have another live today. If you're ready, let's go and let you people know that Coach Sheffy is live, okay? Let me know where you're joining in from. Welcome to the live. Welcome to June 1st. And let me know where you are joining in from. What part of the world are you joining in from? For those who are going to be watching this on a replay, right? I welcome you all as well. And for those who are watching on TikTok, if you're like, Coach, where can I see or where can I find the replay? This is where the replay is going to be. The big platform with the red, put in. Actually, I just discovered that I do have that information in my bio. You see when you go on TikTok, right? The first one with my beautiful face and a red shirt. When you click on there, you're gonna see the one that says what I'm talking about. That's where you go to watch replays, okay? So, as you can see on the other part, I said no excuse. I know most people want transformation. You are here, you're like, my life has been the same. I keep repeating the same pattern over and over again. You desire transformation, but what the steps that you need to take to that transformation, that's where most people are stuck in this moment. A lot of people desire transformation, but not everybody is willing to put in the work for transformation. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about. If this is your first time being on my live, if this is your first time watching me, my name is Sheffy. I am an identity coach and nervous system research specialist. I help people to stop sabotaging at the nervous system level. I help people rebuild self-trust, right? I help people rebuild self-trust, regulate their nervous system in order to show up consistently, build a self-trust. This is what I do. So anything that has to do with your identity, anything that has to keep you showing up, even when you feel like you're tired, right? This is what I do. Thank you for all the likes on TikTok. I appreciate you all. Now, I'm gonna address few things, okay? I don't know if you can see on the board right now. I don't know if you can see on the board. I'm gonna write transformation. I'm saying this just in case you can see it. Transformation. Transformation. Now, in this present time, where you might be in this moment, where you are right now, you desire this. You desire transformation, okay? Just like everybody else, you are desiring transformation, right? Now, it feels like, and for you to desire transformation, you are here, okay? And the reason why you might be desiring transformation right now could just be that the result that you're seeing, your actual result that you're seeing, that's not what you want. So you're like, I deserve more, okay? Most of you, you know you deserve more. You know you are called for more. You know you are meant for more. But that's all that a lot of people can get, right? Because their current results is showing them that that's not what they're supposed to be, or that's not where they're supposed to be. So a lot of people do desire transformation. They do desire the great result that they want in life, but not everybody is able to put in the work in order to get there. Something that I realized this week is, first, I used to struggle with this, by the way, which is nobody is coming to save you. And I'm like, what do they mean by nobody's coming to save me? You know, there are a lot of people, right, that will come to save you. But this is the part that most people forget. Even if you read the book, even if you enroll in the program, even if you go for therapy, yes, that's the first part. But the part that you're supposed to do, that's the second part that we talk about, that nobody's coming to save you, okay? For instance, when you're thirsty, I can't drink the water for you. Do you see that? You're thirsty, it's you have to drink the water for yourself. If you're hungry, you have to eat for yourself, okay? If you are tired, you want to lay down. There are some things that only you can do it, okay? You do have the information, But the information by itself, that's where, it's two side of it. The information is coming from a source, right? That's part of the resources that you need to break out. But now, after you get the information, what do you do with the information? That's why a lot of people still feel like they still need more information, because their part has not been fulfilled yet. And this is why many people are stuck at the level of what? Binging on more information. If I tell you that right now you do not need information, if I tell you that right now in this moment what you need is not motivation, what you need is not information, but what you need is execution. Okay? And I know, thank you so much for the like. Okay? Right now, you do not need motivation. You do not need motivation. As you can see, it's on here. You don't need motivation. No. You do not need what? You don't need motivation. You do not need information. That's not what you need, because right now your brain is telling you you need more information in order to execute. What it is you're stuck right now just because some few things that you know that are missing, and these are the things that I'm gonna share with you today. But before we talk about that, most people think that they lack motivation. A lot of people are repeating survival, right? A lot of people are stuck in survival mode, believing that what they need is motivation. If motivation is what you needed, you wouldn't have been stuck in this place right now. And believe me, this is coming from someone known as the motivational force. This is coming from someone known as the motivational force. If motivation is what you needed, if information is what you needed, you wouldn't have been in this place right now. Motivation, it's like it only helps you to start something, but motivation will not stay there to help you along the way. What you need in order to show up consistently is self-trust. What you need in order to show up consistently, even if you do not feel like it, is self-trust. And that's where most people are not in the actual moment, but they think that motivation is what they need. If this sounds like something that you sound familiar, okay, I'm gonna say, let's say for instance, you got motivated one day, you show up strong one day, and day 2, day 3, you're already talking yourself out of that project. And guess what? Today's live is done on June 1st. June 1st. Why did I mention that? At the beginning of every new month, we always have this desire. We always have this motivation saying that I'm going to start the next month, or I'm going to start on Monday. But guess what? The funny thing is, the new month landed on what? On a Monday. So guess what? You have 2 together in order to start. So there shouldn't be any excuse at all. For those who are just joining, welcome to the live. If this is your first time to be on my live, my name is Shefi. I help people rebuild their self-trust, regulate their nervous system to create a structure and stay accountable, right? So that they can follow through. A lot of people think that what they need is motivation. So people are still are binging on motivation, but you will realize that the most motivation will take some of you as one day, okay, or 2 days, or 3 days, or a week. And after that, motivation will not show up, and then the cycle repeats itself again. So right now you are stuck in a cycle. For those who cannot see on the board, this is what I've written. This is what is on the board. First of all, I have my information here. If you want us to work, if you want me to be, to help you in this moment in order to get unstuck, DM me info@coachshefi. info@coachshefi.com, and then we can have the first session to see if I am your coach, or if you're going to be the person that I want to help in this season, right? So info@coachshefi.com. And also there is a group coaching session that I'm hosting on June 27. This is a 90-day group coaching session. The reason why it's three months or 90 days of session is this: because we don't just jump from your present and into the transformation. Before you transform, there are some patterns, there are some limiting beliefs that needed to be broken. And this is what you need. You need a blueprint. What is your blueprint? You need to be regulated, right? You need a structure, okay? You need accountability. You need execution. And you need what? You need someone to hold you accountable, someone to help you on the way. Most of you right now, which is the self-trust. So most people right now, they only have the information. You have all the information that you need. How did you get that information? You get the information on YouTube. You get the information on what? On TikTok. You get the information on Facebook. I mean, we are in a season of information. On top of that, what else do we have? We have AI, we have ChatGPT, we have Claude. So no matter what information you need in this moment, it's like, it's not far from you compared to some years past, right? But the funny thing is, with all these informations that you have, if you are not executing those information, what happens is you become constipated. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's say, for instance, you're hungry. You've been eating for a week, and you have not been going to the restroom and release whatever needed to be released. What will happen is this: you'll be constipated. So most people right now, they are stuck. When you say I am stuck, what you mean by being stuck is this: whenever you tell yourself I am stuck, what you're describing to me in that moment is I have a lot of information that have not been full out. I have a lot of information that is, seated either in my mind, okay, in my emotion, and it's leading me not to be able to move the way I'm supposed to. I'm gonna say that again. When you say you're stuck, okay, being stuck could be what? I have a ton of information, but I don't know what to do with that information. That is why most of you right now, maybe you desire to change your financial status. You have the information about how to start your digital product. I don't sell digital product, but it's just an example. And with all that information, you don't know how to process that information. That's why when we work together, what do? I walk you through what? What is your blueprint? What blueprint, right? What blueprints are you following? Okay, what blueprint are you following? Okay, are you following everybody else and wondering why am I not seeing the results? So the first thing that we work on is what? Your identity. Within your identity, there is something called your blueprint. Okay, I'm gonna dive in deeper. There is something called your blueprint. And what labels are you running your life with? What labels are you running your life with? Has somebody given you a label? What do you believe in? What is your limiting belief? What is standing against you in order to show up in your authenticity, right? So that's that. The first one is what blueprint are you following? The second one is what labels are running your life. And the third thing is what story are you repeating to yourself? So let's put in here. So when you said I'm stuck, it's because you have information that have not been turned into you have information that did not lead to transformation yet. Okay, so that means you've eaten and overeaten information in a sense where they are only just seated at the brain, at the mind level. So being stuck is that. Okay, now when we work together, or the work that I do with my clients is this. Okay, I've helped people where the first session, when we work together, most of them, they feel like they were stuck. They're like, Coach, I've been going through shame. I've been going through this. But when we started working, it was beyond just shame. They started seeing the result that they need. They started showing up consistently, not just in their business, not just in their workplace, but also, right, in their relationship. Because when we talk about identity, identity affects every single thing. What you believe about yourself is what you show to people. What you believe about yourself is how you communicate to people. What you believe about yourself is how you relate with people. And guess what? What you believe about yourself also set you up to draw the same people that are in the same the same line as you. If you see yourself as someone who is always brave, your environment will be surrounded by people like that. Okay, so for those who are just joining, I'm giving you the example of saying that I am stuck. When you say you're stuck, what you're saying in this moment is this: I have information, but that information, that information has not been worked on to become for me to for it to become transformation. Thank you for those who are following on TikTok. I appreciate you so much. Right now, so being stuck is a ton of information. You do not need, that's why I keep saying right now, if there is something that you don't need, is what? Information and motivation. Information and motivation. What you need in this moment is execution. Okay, you are overthinking right now. You're afraid. You're like, what if they make fun of me? Now let me tell you where this is coming from. This is the part that most people ignore, because you have been diagnosed with the general. Okay, people are saying that it's because you don't want it bad enough, and you yourself, you convince yourself that it's because you do not want it bad enough, right? You keep telling yourself, if I'm not going for it, it's because I don't want it bad enough. But you're forgetting that your identity is the foundation of everything that you're desiring in this life. The fact that you are not showing up the way you're supposed to show up is because of what? Lack of self-trust. The amount of time you told yourself, you broke a promise to yourself, the brain has recorded that for you. I don't want to say against you. I used to say against you, but it's for you, because the same time, the brain is also recording the amount of time you did show up. You see that? So your identity is the foundation to everything. The job that you're working in right now, that job is your identity that designed it. Okay? If you think of yourself very low, okay, the job that you're going to apply for will be a job that will tie into your identity. I'm gonna give you an example. I used to work as a cybersecurity analyst in our state here where I am. Before going for that job application or that job interview, even though there were some things that I didn't know, I believe I deserved that job. So what did I do? Since I know that I deserved that job, but I know there were some things that I needed to learn, I went on YouTube to learn about those things. But the reason why most people don't show up and show up fully is because they believe that they don't deserve it. And it shows in the research that you make to make yourself better, to show yourself, ready and transform for the job that you're desiring. A lot of people are stuck at just the desiring level. Desiring something does not bring you the results. There is a difference between desire and putting in the work for the transformation. Most people are just at the desiring level. Most people are just at the desiring level. Most people are just at the desiring level. And this is why most people are just at the desiring level, because when you desire something, it's like you're tricking your brain. Please follow here. When you desire a result, what you're doing in that moment is you're tricking the brain, believing that you are about to put in the work. So it's like you're kicking your brain in that moment. You are tingling your brain to make you feel a relief in that moment. And a lot of people enjoy that relief. That's why I've titled this No More Excuse. Okay, no more excuse. I believe especially for the next months that are coming, we're gonna break out of the excuses, especially if somebody that cares for you much. Don't let them keep you stuck in the place of excuse, because there has to be a moment where we have to wake up and say, no, enough is enough. And that's what happened to me in 2009. In 2009, I had to tell myself, enough is enough, because that was my moment of waking up from the dream. What was the dream? Since that time, I didn't have children. I thought I was gonna, things are just gonna be the way they're supposed to be. But 2009, by the grace of God, I got pregnant, and I'm like, oh my goodness, things are getting real. I have to get it together, right? So we have moments of awakening, moments that pull us into who we're supposed to be. But a lot of people, when moments like that come, we only treat it as information. That's why when people come on my live, when people are watching my videos, I keep saying this: do not treat this moment as just another moment of information. Do not treat this moment. Guess what? Before the month of June, you were crying in your room because you know that the days are adding up. You know that the months are adding up. And when days are adding up, When months are adding up, you already know that we are getting closer to the end of the year. Okay? And you're asking yourself, is this how my life is going to be? Is this how it's going to end? But nothing is being done. And the thing is, when those tears, they come, because whenever we cry, we release emotion, you have enough room to get back to the same cycle. If you've been created or you've been called to live for 90 years and you are, let's say you're 50 years or you're 40 years or you're 30 years, how long will you keep repeating the same pattern? Are you not tired of the same pattern? Are you not tired of the same pattern? And I know you can, give me some excuses and say, things happen to me. And I'm going to talk about that, right? And I'm going to talk about that. You might say, okay, wrong one. You might say, coach, but you don't know what happened to me. I'm going to tell you, I used to be the one of the people that will give you all the excuses of, what somebody has done, what somebody did not do. But there is a time in our life when we need to break out. We need to tell ourselves, we have to take responsibility. Yes, what they did is not what they're supposed to, but everybody will give their own account to whatever has happened. I don't know what has happened to you. I will not say I know, right? But what I'm saying is this: there has to be a time when you tell yourself, I deserve more. The fact that you tell yourself, I deserve more, will give you enough room not to dwell on that which has happened and seek the solution that you need in that moment. Okay? I told myself I matter in 2009, and I'm glad I did. That I matter, it wasn't just an ego saying I matter, but that I matter was an awakening, a moment of awakening for me in that moment. That I matter positioned me well to find a mentor that held my hand. Okay, remember I said this: your identity is the foundation of everything that you are attracting in this life. Your identity is what it is. Okay, everything around us carries identity. No one will start a table this way. We eat on a table, at a table rather. We write at a table. Okay, a lot of people are going through identity, crisis right now. When we talk about identity crisis, okay, it's beyond what you think, because most people are in this place. Most people are stuck in this place. Stuck. Remember what I said about being stuck? You're stuck because you have a lot of information that you did not process yet for that to become transformation. We can also be stuck in a time. We can be stuck in a time. We can be stuck in a day, even though we are present, even though we are typing, even though we are reading. We can be emotionally stuck or mentally. We can be emotionally or mentally stuck. And this is what is happening to a lot of people right now. Now, the information that you need is there, but what you need to carry you through to see the transformation is what? Thank you for the likes. Is what? You need your identity. What label or what blueprint are you following? What blueprint are you following? And when I talk about blueprint, this is what I'm talking about. For me and with my clients, right, the blueprint that they have been following, or that I have been following, and this is what I'll be teaching in my group coaching session, is what? Being made in the image and the likeness of God. I know most of you right now, you've heard that before, right? Maybe you've heard it at church, maybe you've read it, so you know it well. But let me ask you, do you like who's that? Oh, merci. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the person who posted that. Thank you. So most of you, you've heard once at church, it's been said that you are the image and the likeness of God. You know that so well. Being a child, you've been told that. But do you know that that's not just an information, but that is your blueprint? Within the image and the likeness of God, or when they said you are the image and the likeness of God, so is everybody else. Now, what separates you from the other person and you. Thank you so much. What separates you from the other person and you is your blueprint. Okay, that is why we have million of artists, but at the same time there are new artists coming. There are new artists coming because the blueprint is not the same as my blueprint. Everyone has their own blueprint. So if you do not identify your blueprint, you don't know your blueprint, you will start applying a blueprint that works for someone to you. Okay, you start applying a blueprint that works for someone specifically, you apply that to you. That's why in my work, in my coaching session, when people come, it's not one size fits all. Okay, it's not one size fits all. And what I also do is this, and I tell people that I might not be your coach, because sometimes in my coaching session I'll just have a moment where when God walks in, and it's the Holy Spirit, right? When the Holy Spirit walks in, that moment can be a moment of allowing God to step in, because I can only know that which you're telling me. And of course, as coaches, we've been trained to what? To ask questions that will lead you to get to the bottom of the whatever is being shared. I just got a scripture. He says this: we prophesy, we know in part, and we prophesy in part. It's not what it is, but guess what? I can only know what you're telling me. But when I'm working with you as your coach, this is what I do. I ask God, what is it that I need to know about this person to help them and break out of that moment? Because I've been stuck before. I know what it is like to be stuck. I know what it is like to be stuck. And I know that it's not a pleasant place to be at all. Being stuck feels like this, right? You know that you're capable of more. You know that you deserve more. You know that the result that you're getting is not what you're supposed to be getting. You know that you're capable of more. You know that, again, that's why I said, most of you right now, you know this scripture, made in the image and the likeness of God. You know all these things, but it feels like you have been put in a cage where you can't stretch your hand, you cannot go out, it's invisible, only you can feel it, can see it, but other people are labeling you as being lazy, and you're also labeling yourself as being lazy, and that will hurt you, right? That's very painful. I used to be there. I was stuck there, so I can describe it. Not only do I have the certification to coach people, but I've lived it. So this is why I come live. This is the passion that leads me, because when I was there, it wasn't something pleasant, right? It wasn't something that I would even wish on anyone. So when I come out, I only speak to one person. Who do I speak to? I speak to that one person who is stuck right now. They know that all they need to do is just to start this thing. And they have started, okay? They started, they stopped, they started, they stopped, they started, they stopped. So their brain knows the lyrics about them already, which is this person only starts, they show up for 2 days, for 3 days, and the next week they will not show up. Or this person show up 2 days and they will say, I'm gonna start over on Monday. Because we are in a society that, you know, that enjoy starting over and over and over again. There is nothing wrong about starting over. But when you're starting over, what structure are you starting with? There is nothing wrong with starting over. But when you start over, what strategy are you starting with? What structure are you starting with? What blueprint are you starting with? Who is starting with you, right? Who are you starting with? We are June 1st. We just started the month of, we just started a year some days ago, and here we are. So when you said, I'm going to start in the month of June, and I know you are serious about it, what is the strategy? One day on my live, so I told myself I was going to go live on 100 days I'll go live. And this was the beginning of the year 2026. So on day four of me going live, that time when I said I was going to go live was what? I was going to go live at 4 a.m. Okay? I said I was going to go live, and I was going to go live at 4 a.m. I did not consider my dynamics, my environment, and anything at that time. I just wanted to prove to people that I can do it. I just wanted to prove to myself that I can do it, ignoring that there are some factors that may not lead me there. And this might just be where you are in this moment. When you're setting your goals, are you setting the goals to prove to yourself that you will not be able to follow through? Is it a goal to prove to people that you can do it? So when you are starting over, right? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. When you're starting over, what strategy? What strategy? What strategy? What strategy? What strategy? So let's talk about this a little bit. Remember when I talk about the brain? The brain is one of the most amazing gifts that God has given us, okay? Your brain, this is one thing. Your brain doesn't bring to you what you desire. Your brain only brings to you what is familiar, okay? Your brain only brings to you what is familiar, not what you desire. Now, what is familiar to the brain right now? For the brain, you might just be that person who never shows up. You might just be that person who overthinks, right? You might just be that person who is inconsistent, even with their words, okay? You might just be that person. So the brain, that's where we talk about the subconscious, right? It holds record the same way as your body holds record, okay? Keeps the record. Your brain keeps the record as well. That's why you are stuck, okay? And this is not just coming from it's coming from the nervous system as well. So when you're dysregulated at the nervous system level, that leads to being what? That leads to being stuck. That leads to being stuck. That leads to being dysregulated. That leads to just living from a place of survival. Most people right now, especially if you're one of those people where you make decision just to live by or to barely live, that's survival, okay? That's survival. Now, the brain doesn't bring to you what you desire. That's why you've been desiring change, transformation. Nothing is happening because that's not the language of the brain. Right now, you might be asking, okay, coach, what you're saying describe me so well. Is there a way out of it? If you want to know the way out of it, type 1 in the chat. If you want to know the way out of this, type 1 in the chat, right? We don't just want to talk about the problem, but if the problem has been spoken about, is that my friend? Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the way out. This is what, you know it, but you didn't know that's what it is, okay? Now, do you have, I don't know if this has ever happened to you where, I'm just going to give an example of a car. You said, I'm going to buy a red car, a red Honda. It's just an example. Or your dream car. And all of a sudden, as soon as you said that, it's like all of a sudden, you know, you start seeing that same car on the road. You start noticing the same car, traffic lights everywhere, you know, and you're like, wait, what is happening? I just thought about this. And I'm even thinking that's the same method that the algorithm, you know, you just go on YouTube and you come on TikTok, you know, and you're going to start seeing the same thing that you just thought about. Isn't it amazing? There's something called the reticular activating system. If you're taking note, write that down. The reticular activating system is the part of the brain that helps you to clear out any distraction so that you can be focused. There is a way that you can activate the reticular activating system. This is the same way that you know, athletes, the great athletes in the world that you admire, LeBron James, or Neymar, all these people, right? Or Mbappe, all these people that you admire, your favorite athletes that you admire. This is the same principle that they use. Before you execute, you need to see yourself doing it. What are you doing in that moment? You are allowing the brain to see the result before you start working on it. You allow the brain to go before you. You're working on your imagination to go before you start doing it physically. That's why athletes, before they play the game, before they play the basketball game or whatever game, or before they run the race, they have run it mentally, emotionally. Why mentally? Why emotionally? Your mental is what? That's what create the imagination. Okay, your emotion and the your mind or the imagination put together, that's what birth your identity. Your imagination, your emotion together, that's what birth your reality, that's what birth your identity. So right now, the life that you don't like, that you don't admire, the result that you're seeing that you do not admire, is because the imagination was engaged and your emotion was added to it. In life, it's always what? To create a balance, you need the male and the female. Male, female, male, female. So the mind and the emotion, male the mind, okay, emotion is the female. So both together they birth your reality. Okay, so the same thing, that's why neuroscience, neuroplasticity, it taught us that which you create can be undone. So if there is a result you're seeing right now and you do not like it, you do not desire it, you want to change it, it can be undone. The Bible says, what? Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Okay, but I know that is easier said than done because you are not patient with yourself. Let's go back to the reticular activating system. Okay, and I was giving you the example of what? The example of, you think about something, you think about a red car, you said, I'm gonna buy a red car, and then automatically all the other cars become non-existent because God has put that system in you to help you to focus. And why is that put in you deliberately? So that you can partner with God. I don't teach without talking about God, okay? And this is what some people in manifestation, they will not tell you, because everything is in Him. God is the source of all things. And He is the one that put the reticular activating system in you to help you partner with Him so that you can, oh my goodness, so that you can birth that which has been written about you. And all these things, they are in your blueprint. Okay, they are in your blueprint. They are in your blueprint. They are in your identity blueprint. They are in your identity blueprint. So most of you right now, you have been living other people's blueprints. And how did those blueprints came to be? They came to be by the way you were raised, the things that culture have given you, the things that people are telling you not to do, not to say. So your identity, your imagination about who you are, or the identity about who you are, has been distorted from what you've been told, what you've been, from your childhood, from your teenage year, from your adulthood, even from the present, because of the things that have happened to you. So when you're desiring a transformation, motivation shouldn't be what you go after, but your identity is what you need to work on. Motivation is never what it is, but self-trust. You are breaking away, or it looks like you do not trust yourself in this moment because the amount of time you didn't show up for yourself. That's why identity is the first thing. When we work together, when I work with people like that, when I work with people, the first thing that we do is what? Your identity. Okay, identity and regulation. Regulation is what? Nervous system regulation is very important. My definition of nervous system regulation is as simple as this, and you're gonna see it right now. My definition of nervous system is as simple as this. Intentionality. Intentionality creates presence. Intentionality creates presence. When you regulate, okay, someone who regulates enough a lot of time, is gonna help you to get out of the survival mode. Okay, it's gonna help you to have clarity. It's gonna help you to condition you not to be responding to every single thing at every time. Again, this is why Jesus will say, I hear as I speak. Someone that is regulated and not quick to speak. Someone that is regulated, this person is not quick just to keep responding. You prepare your ears to hear before you respond. See, our identity carries a lot. We think it's just to come on earth and, have kids and all that. There is more to what we call identity. So when right now, it looks like you're repeating the pattern, and the structure that I'm giving you, please apply it for yourself. But if you need someone to hold your hand, which is the accountability, you need someone, go on send me a DM, info@coachsheffy.com, info@coachsheffy.com. Now, what you need is, do not start by working on everything at once. You're gonna be overwhelmed. And that's where that's being stuck. That's why most of people are stuck right now. Because of what? Because you want to change everything at once. It doesn't work like that. Okay? So identity is the first one. Regulation is what? Is regulating the nervous system. Is as simple as intentionality. Intentionally creating a pause in your daily activity in order to connect to the body. Intentionally creating a pause in your daily activity in order to connect to the body, and that builds being grounded. And that intentionality or that pause can be done by the way you breathe. So when I work with people, I lead them to breathing in a proper way, right? Most people, even though you're alive, you're not breathing the right way that you're supposed to. There are different types of breathing that will help you to be grounded. We have the diaphragmatic breathing, we have the box breathing, right? But in everything that I do, I'm not gonna lie to you, I bring you back to your identity. And what is your identity? Image and the likeness of God. A lot of people right now have created someone that is away from God. That's why you feel stuck all the time. Okay? When the best way to be grounded is knowing that you are in God. The best way to be grounded is knowing that you are in God. Okay? So the breath work that I'm talking about is what? Breathing in God and breathing from God. In the book of Genesis, before creation, you cannot create in chaos. You cannot create. Ooh. Thank you, Jesus. You cannot create in chaos, meaning that you cannot be dysregulated. Warning, transformation. Creation is what? You take something and you make something else out of it. You see that? That's what transformation is as well. You transform, you create. Okay? And in creation, there is what? There is transformation. Okay? What do I mean by that? When you see a seed, the seed is what? Is the creation. Within the seed, when the seed breaks, there's transformation. I don't know why we are going here, but I think somebody needs this. Okay? Within creation, there is transformation. Within creation, there is transformation. So this is very important. Before God created, He breathed. What is that breathing? That's regulating. Breath helps us to be aligned, because the breath that we carry is not our breath, it's the breath of God. So when you're breathing, the next time you're breathing, which you should be doing right now, what you do not just sit as a regular breathing. When you're breathing, sit as if God is breathing through you. Things like this will help you to be very rooted and very grounded in the things that you do. See, I tell people this. We can teach everything on a live. Not all things can be taught on a live. We cannot teach everything on a live. That's why it's very important to log in a coaching session. And this coaching is just for you, right? Because I've had people that they said, okay, after your live, I'm going to watch another live. And remember, you do not need information. You do not need motivation. The lives, what the live is doing right now, because I know right now most of you are like, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? That's what we give you, okay? On lives, we give you motivation. On live, we give you what you need to break out. But if you're someone that have been self-sabotaging for years, that information will be like, You don't give pearl to pigs. Yo, God Somebody's knocking in. Thank you, Jesus. You that information will just become what the Holy Spirit is speaking through. God bless you. Thank you so much. That information will just become what? Just an information. And then you'll be bloated, right? You'll be bloated and loaded with information with no execution. Okay, so breathing, the first thing is identity. When we work together, identity. Okay, that's the first one. Regulation, we do what? Movement, breath work, movement, nervous system regulation tools, and grounding. Now, the third thing that I give you is this. The third thing that I give you is the structure. That's what most of you lack in this moment. It's a strategy. Okay, structure. What structure are you working with? What structure are you moving with? You do not need motivation, like I said. What you need is structure. You need a routine that will work for you specifically, a routine that will work for your identity specifically. There is a routine for you that will not work for somebody else. That's why sometimes you might see, you ask yourself, why is it working for others but not working for me? Because you are using somebody else's routine. You have not identified your blueprint yet. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Maybe you try to wake up at early in the morning at 4 a.m. and you said, okay, when I wake up at 4 a.m. I'm gonna read, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Okay, or maybe you study the word, and as soon as you get the Bible to study the word, automatically you sleep. But do you know there could be another way that will work for you? Maybe you can go for a walk and read while you're walking. Have you tried that? You see that? So in God, you have your blueprint. Everyone have their own blueprint. Even though we look alike, we have the same blood, but every person have their own blueprint. Have you identified your blueprint yet? So creating a routine that will work for you and you specifically. Okay, find the routine that will work just for you, and once that routine start working for you, from there you can start branching out. But the mistake that most people do is this: they want to branch out. Do you know that what you're doing is self-abuse? Because this is the pattern. For those who are just joining, welcome to the live. If you're watching on the other platform when we watch replays, what are we talking about? We're talking about no more excuses. Today happened to be Monday, and happened to be the first June 1st. No more excuses. We've had a lot of excuses, and also you don't need motivation. No more excuses. Okay, you don't need motivation. Okay, so now when you said you're gonna show up, okay, when you said you're gonna show up and you don't, this is like, that's your bank. Okay, that's your saving bank, or your saving account rather. Whatever you put here, whether it's good or not so good, whatever it is, the brain, how are you? Who's that? The brain will hold that for you. Anything, the brain is holding that, whether good or bad. So if you've had a lot of broken promises, the brain has it here. And let's say for this beginning of the month, you said, I am going to, thank you for the share, I appreciate it. You said for the beginning of this month, you told yourself, toward the 30th, the 31st, you said this month, I'm going to change, things are going to be different, I'm going to show up consistently. And you're saying all these things. You set the goal. You said, I'm going to wake up at 4 o'clock. I will go to the gym. I'll do everything that I need to do. But be honest with yourself. If you could, thank you so much. If you could, why didn't you in the past? So instead of keep abusing yourself by setting goals that you know that you'll never show up for, it is okay to start over at the right place with the right strategy. Okay, if the goal is to read, and the funny thing is, oftentimes when we keep breaking promises, what we do is to set another goal. We set a goal that is very big. I don't know why people do that. I used to do it, so I can tell you. And I'm going to tell you the reason why people do that. Because when they did not show up in the past, there is a shame language that is playing behind the scene. Okay? So in order to quiet that voice, they set goal very big to say that now, to say, I'm going to prove that I can do it. So you want to prove to that language or that message of the shame that is playing behind the scene, you want to prove to it that you can do it. But guess what? You're setting yourself up again for failure. So today, what you need to do, tell yourself this: I'm not here to prove myself to anyone. I am not here to prove myself to anyone. Tell yourself that. You are not here to prove yourself to no one, not even to yourself. What you need is to work on your self-trust. That's what it is in this moment. By doing what? How do you work on your self-trust? You work on your self-trust by setting small goals until you build that self-trust. You start setting small goals until you start, your nervous system, the brain will start believing that you are someone that can definitely hold results or show up consistently until they find a result that they need to find. You see that? So don't just say, I'll go work out at 4 a.m. I'll work out for 2 hours, 1 hour. No, you don't do that to yourself. Okay? You set a small goal. Now, what is gonna make that goal stick is the reticular activating system. A lot of people, they only go through the motion of showing up, okay? They only go through the motion of showing up, but they are not present. It has been proven that at least 45% of people are either living in the past or in the future. Okay, most people are either living in the past or in the future. Okay, and also only 8% of people who set goal can fully execute their goal. The other 92% of people are the ones that are either living in the past or in the future. Okay, and this is what happened in the past. That's where people get stuck. The present is what? The present can just be 2026, right? But a lot of people are either in 2020, 2021, 2022, so any year before 2026, that's where most people are. And any year after 2026 is where most people are in this moment. So right now, when you said, I'm gonna start over on Monday, that's you in the future. You see that? So when we talk about the future, we are not necessarily talking about another year. And right now, I know most of you might be already living in another year. You're saying, okay, next year things are gonna be different. But what strategy are you taking with yourself? What strategy is leading you for things to be different next year? That is very important. What strategy is going to lead you to next year? So the first thing that you need to know is your identity. What blueprint are you ruling with? What what are you telling yourself, right? What blueprint, what labels is playing? What labels are you running? What labels are running your life? The third one is, what story are you repeating to yourself? Okay, what you forget is whenever you said, I am lazy, the brain is holding that. Whenever you said, I never show up, anything you said becomes your reality. Being prepared for your next step to move forward. So your identity is very important. The second one is what? Is your regulation. How do you regulate throughout the day? At work, 9 to 5, when you're very tired, what do? Simple as what? Breathing, okay? Breathing the right way. And what else? You can do simple exercise to make you grounded. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I do this often as a mom of 3. When I'm around my children, some things that I do is what? I need to feel, okay? Oh, you can also just hug yourself. What you're doing is you are creating contact. Holding yourself, creating contact brings you back to who you are, okay? It helps you to shift out of your mind and connect to your body. Okay, you can start squeezing your thigh, but not to hurt yourself. You see what I'm saying? Those things like that, you can walk barefoot. By the way, in my home, I walk barefoot. How did I learn this? I learned this from where I grew up. I grew up in Togo, in West Africa, and I used to live with my grandma whenever I visit the village. It's not because they don't walk barefoot because they don't have the money to buy shoes, but they understand something called grounding. Grounding is what helps you to be regulated. So I've learned that, and in my house, sometimes when I go out, like to throw out the trash and all that, I walk barefoot, because we know that we are not just walking, but we are walking, healing, regulating, being grounded. Okay, these are all important to you. Now, identity regulation. The third one is structure. Okay, you don't need motivation. You need a routine that works for you. A weekly target. Start small. Start small. A weekly target, because if you have self-sabotage for many years, what works for you might not be, okay, I want to plan the whole year. No, you take it step by step, because the nervous system needs a record. And that's why I talk about the reticular activating system. My clients have used this technique that I'm telling you right now, and they have seen a transformation. They used to quit on themselves, but right now they stay on the course until they find the result that they want. So when we work together, one of the things that I tell people is, the goal is not to have too many goals, right? No, it's the brain, the nervous system that is not regulated that will make you feel like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, everything is connected. So what you need to do is one major one, okay? That one major one, as we work together, once I help you to reach that goal, now the brain knows, oh my goodness, we have a track record now. So that's what it is. Now the brain is like, oh my goodness, there is a track record that we can identify ourselves with. Another thing that I teach people that might be, that a lot of people have been using that have helped them is this. Let's say, for instance, right now, you don't have that track record. So the brain will be struggling so hard to help you get to the result that you need to. But because for many years the brain has never had that, the brain will be struggling to get it. So what happened? You trick the brain by saying why. Actually, you don't trick the brain, but you remind the brain that it is scanning the wrong person. Remember when I told you, I said your blueprint is in the image and the likeness of God. So the next time the brain is going to scan your track record, because in your track record, what it is there written in that moment is someone who never shows up, right? Someone who only show up for one day. So the brain will bring that back to you. The next time you are going to set a goal for yourself, remember it has to be something small so that you can celebrate the small wins. And if the brain brings you back to the past, any year before 2026, and the brain is saying, who do you think you are? You've done this before, you never follow through. That's what shame is. Okay, the brain will start reminding you this. You need to tell the brain, actually, you're scanning the wrong person, because I am the image and the likeness of God. Follow this one. And we know that God is what? God, one of the characteristics of God is the author, okay, and the finisher, the Alpha and the Omega. Being Alpha means what? The one that starts, the one that finishes. You are the image and the likeness of God, meaning that you start, you finish. Do you see that? You see that? So you need to, right now, most of you, it is hard because you have a wrong model that you identify yourself with. What is that model? That model is the one that starts and never finishes, because that's what you believe about yourself. When you start believing truly that your blueprint is in God, therefore anything that God is in you. If God is the Alpha and Omega, all the characteristics that are in God, they are in you. But a lot of you are only at the starting level, but you are not at the finisher level. So you are only here. You are only here. I don't know if you can see from the screen. You're only at what? The beginning, okay? The beginning with all the track record of the one that was rejected, the beginning of all the track record of the one, that have been repeating the pattern of shame, all those patterns. It's what the brain knows you for. It's what the brain has about you. So anytime you said, I'm going to show up, and you do not show up, that's what the brain is going to, that's what the brain has about you in that moment. You see that? So you desire a change. You desire a change. Here is you, just in case you can see it. It's you right here, right? So you desire a transformation. You desire a change. But with the information that you have, it's not solid enough to propel you out. I've had people ask me, why is it hard to change? Does it look like change is hard? Change is hard, or it looks like it's taking time. First, because you are not patient enough. And also because the brain has to build the self-trust. So that language is not embedded in the brain yet. It's your way to let it be fast by doing what? Engaging the reticular activating system. These are the things that I'm going to teach you when you join, or when you go on my BIO, and there's a LINK there to be part of the group coaching session. This group coaching session, at the end of this session, you finally know that, you break out of the person that only starts and never finishes, the one that is inconsistent. You're gonna have the language of someone who follows through, right? The one that is, you're gonna build a self-trust. So these are the things that you're gonna get while you are working, or while you are going through the coaching session. Self-trust. You follow through. You become consistent. You know your identity. Okay? One of my clients told me, Coach, you know what? When things are happening right now around me, I don't see it as I'm the one that started it. That's called self-blame. If you blame yourself a lot, you need to be part of this coaching session, this group coaching session. Okay? So consistency, you're going to be consistent. You're going to know your identity, your blueprint. Not only will you be binging on information, but you start executing from a place of regulation. There is a difference between, just executing, but there is also the one that you do it from a place of regulation. That's what you need. Okay, you need to be regulated while you show up. That's what most people don't know. And people that I work with, they are high achievers, so I can tell you how they function a lot. They function with a dysregulated nervous system. They are very, they can get angry easily because they are not regulated. So what you need in this season is not another information, another motivation, but you need to build a self-trust. You need to be able to follow through, so that you are not the one that is known as a chronic starter. You don't want to be known as a chronic starter. You don't want to fail even before you start, okay? So self-trust, follow through, being consistent every time. The identity to hold you through. Execution, being able to execute. TikTok wants me to verify that I am me. Okay, we're going to try again. Oh, we did it. Very good. Okay, so execution, identity, nervous system regulation. Find a time to regulate throughout the day. Okay, and accountability. Now, most people, this is where they might just be in this moment. For those who are just joining, welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Let me know where you're joining in from, what part of the world, and let me know. But we're talking about no more excuses. We are already in 6 months into 2026, and a lot of people are either in the past or in the future. New York, you're not too far from me. You're not too far from me. Okay, so what you need to show up is blueprint, regulation, structure, accountability, execution, self-trust. Now, I want to ask a question. For this month of June, what are some goals that you've set for yourself? For this month of June, what are some goals you've set for yourself? What is one thing or many things that you said you were going to do this year? For this month. What are some goals? Very good. Very good, very good. Good. Hello. Trying to do my live Bible study more. Okay. Very good. True, I see you. Welcome, True. Hey, True, how are you doing? I think last week I thought about you last week. How have you been? And I think, True, if I'm not mistaken, you wanted to, is it like a new job or something? Let me know. Yeah. Hello. Happy new month, True. Happy new month. I saw Bible study. Let me see. Trying to do my live Bible study more. Okay. Do you teach online? Do you teach Bible study online? Is that what it is? Hello, everybody. Do you teach the Bible study online? And if that's what it is, what is the hold up? What is happening? How can I? Yes, on TikTok live. Okay, let's work on that. What is your schedule like? What is your schedule to do the TikTok live? I'm from Nepal. Welcome, my dear friend. Welcome to the live. Welcome. While we're waiting on that, let me show you the things that are happening. So by the way, if you want to be, and this group coaching session is only for 10 people, by the way, for 10 people. And I don't want to work with a lot of people so far. For now, I'm just gonna open it up for 10 people. Let me see. Okay, somebody's from Congo. Punanini. Welcome. Let me see. I feel every time before I'm supposed to go live. Okay, please DM me. How long have you been doing it? DM me info@coachsheffy.com. Okay, info@coachsheffy.com. But you see, I only read I feel every time before I'm supposed to go live. So right now, what I can suggest, I've been talking about the reticular activating system. The next time you want to do anything, and practice that a lot. It's not just feeling that type of way, right? Disengage. Let's use disengage first, right? It's not that you are no longer showing the interest. And can I tell you this? This thing helped me a lot. I thought whatever you just said, I thought it was only happening to me. That's what I thought, because I used to believe what you put in between there. I used to believe I was. I didn't know it happened to everybody. I've heard great men and women of God, great coaches that have been doing this for 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, said the same thing, that before they want to teach or before they want to go live, whatever, it's not like they want to do it. They never want to do it, but they have to. That's why. So motivation led you to start the Bible study, right? Which is really great. Now your identity is what is going to keep you in showing up whenever you don't feel like it. Okay, so we're going to talk about, for someone like you, your schedule is a wake up. Okay, my schedule is I wake up, pray, read my Bible, then I end up doom scrolling. Okay, it's okay. We need to, yeah, definitely. Let's start. So what time are you supposed to go on live? Hello, hey kids party, I miss you. Happy new month. Okay, so you deliberately did not use. Yes, I did not. Yes, I did not. That is me as well, going live. Okay, definitely you guys need to be part of the group coaching. But let me tell you, what time have you set to go on live? Okay, what time have you set to go on live? Because this month we need to break out of that. Happy new month. Very good. Okay, 16 minutes ago, then I asked God for motivation or sign, and I seen you. Like, God bless you. And usually that has always been most of my clients, usually that's what it is like when they are at the last minute and they're like, God, I am done. Is this how my life is supposed to be? And then there's a coach, God has sent you. 1 p.m. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Can I be your accountability partner right now? What do you have after? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this, because I've been there and I know that feeling, okay? Because that feeling, this is a cycle, by the way. Before I talk about that, this is a cycle. It starts with this: rejection. Kids party, I'm so happy to see you here. I don't know why, but I'm just happy. Rejection, it starts with rejection. Abandonment. Abandonment, okay? And then it continue with what? Shame. Shame. People pleasing. People pleasing, and you overthink. Self-sabotage. Okay, self-sabotage, inconsistency, and then it keeps lack of self-trust. Okay, so glad to be here. That's good. Now, can you still go on live at 2? Do you teach online English? No, I do not. I do not. Can you still go on live at 2? Can you still go on live at 2? Now, this is very good. Can you go on live at 2? Can you go on live at 2? I want you to go on live at 2, okay? Now, that will be the first thing. I want to be your accountability partner, okay? I want to be your accountability partner. And especially that you're teaching the Bible, you're doing the Lord's work, your mind will be telling you, you know, your mind will start bringing evidence of, you know, you are not worthy, you're not all this and you're not all that. If you do not have a system to negate what you've been told in that moment, you feel like you're not competent to even show up and do anything. Okay, that's why I want us to, you know, send me a DM, info@coachsheffy.com. I want to be your accountability partner, hold your hand so that you can keep showing up. Because right now, the self-trust, and it's not just for, the thing is, the way we do one thing is the same way we do everything else, right? So it's not just for the Bible study, it's not just for the Bible teaching and all that, it's going to show up in everything else. That's why when I work with people, I will tell you, it's not about bringing me 10,000 goals that you've set. It's just one goal. Once that goal is being set and you break it, you break that goal, everything else will just be like, they will just follow. Okay, what makes us want to do everything at once? That's the distraction that we bring to ourselves. There is a book that is called Eat the Frog. Most of us, we know that we're supposed to make some phone calls, right? But we would prefer, we say, okay, let me write more. Let me, you know, create more. But the main thing we will not do. So when we are working in these 3 months of session that I have with my client, people that are part of the group coaching, we're gonna tackle one main goal. And I will give you the information working with you until you reach that goal. Because 3 months is, I chose that deliberately. After the 3 months, we have another 3 months and we step into 2027. So the strategy that you need for 2027 and the future is being given to you in June, July, August, and you start applying it for the next, the other 3 months, and then you prepare for the, for 2027. Okay, so meaning that you still will be working with me. Okay, so the group coaching session is what? It's $597. It's $597, and I've heard some people say, Coach, I want to do it, but right now my finances, right? And that, by the way, that's one of the excuses that people will use. So what did I do? There is a payment plan. Okay, we have Afterpay, we have Klarna, right? And if that would not work for you, still DM me. I don't want money to stop you from stepping into what you need to step into. 2009, no excuse I could make in that moment. My mentor, my coach was working with me. If someone told me that one day I'll be doing what I'm doing right now, I'll tell you it's impossible. so I get the spirit anxiety and feel overwhelmed. Okay? Okay? DM me so that we can work. Okay? DM me so that we can work. Those things that you're saying, they are, you know, it's true. You will feel like that. You'll feel like that. But once you have the right strategy that you need, you little by little, those things will start dropping. And I said, when I work with people, we have to go beyond just motivation and get into the depth of what is happening there, right? What is happening there? What is happening there? There is a fear that it's hidden that needs to be, you know, looked into. Okay, you are welcome. You are welcome. So you, as you can see here, this is the pattern, right? The rejection. Okay, most people right now are dealing with rejection. So that rejection will lead to, okay, the first one is what? Rejection. So let me see if anyone, or those who are sending in the message. So right now, info at Coach Sheffy, very good. I see the okay. Okay, we're good. Okay. Very good. So for anyone that would like to, you know, reach out, you can go on info at Coach Sheffy. For the group coaching session, the information is here. June 27, we start at June 27. On June 27, rather, it's a 3-month group coaching session where you'll be taught how to identify your blueprints. So that's the first thing, your blueprints and your identity blueprint, the structure, regulation, structure, and the accountability, execution. Know how to execute the information that you've had for all this time. That's what it is. And what else? After execution, you need to have the self-trust. That self-trust is what is going to keep you showing up no matter what, no amount of time that you want to show up. Is Kids Party still here? I know she said going live. Kids Party, send me the email so that we can build a structure that will work for you, okay? So that we can build a structure that will work for you. Let me see. For those who are just joining, welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. If this is your first time being on my live, my name is Sheffy and I am an identity coach, a certified coach, and nervous system research specialist. What do? I help people to rebuild self-trust, regulate their nervous system, create a structure that will work for them in order to show up, stay accountable, and finally to follow through. Okay, most people are known as a chronic starter. And what is a chronic starter? A chronic starter is that person who only starts something. You only start, but you never finish. You have the desire, the pleasure to keep starting over and over again. So you start, you never follow through. You never follow through. And these are the people that have all the business ideas, but they never implement what they need to implement. These are the people that are very smart, by the way, really smart, but they are stuck at a level where when it comes to executing, they don't know what to do. It's like, it's like they have a lot to think from or to take from. And And unfortunately, these are the people that always go after more information. They think they are never ready. They overthink a lot. They think they are never ready. They know that they are capable of more. But just knowing that you are capable of more and not doing what you're supposed to do will just be at the information level. And that's where most people are stuck right now, right? Yes, DM me, or you can go on my bio. There's a LINK there where we can connect. Okay, so these are the people that I work with, and this is what the group coaching is about. But like someone has said here, you know, the person said this is all me. But let me tell you, some of the things, this live or my coaching session is not for someone who wants to be stuck in using, let me see, I start and give up. Yeah, before. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Yes, know the pattern. That's the first thing. Know the pattern. That's the first thing. Now, what is the strategy did you put in place to break out of that place? What is the strategy? And by the way, for other people that would need a journal, there is a journal that is also on my bio. It's called How to Stop Self-Sabotage. It's on my bio. If you get a journal, that journal will give you the ability to work with me rather, okay? Because I know most of you, and usually people like this, they also have like all the journals, okay? But what the journal is offering you is to get closer in my environment so that I can work with you, help you in order to break the pattern, okay? So I don't help people heal rejection. This is something that I want to say. I do not help people heal rejection. I help people stop letting rejection run their life. I don't help people heal rejection, but I help people to stop rejection run their life. That's the first one. I don't help people talk about self-sabotage forever. But what I do is this: I will help you rebuild self-trust, because that's what you need in that moment. Build self-trust, regulate your nervous system, create a structure, a strategy that will work for you in order to break out so that you can follow through and have a wiring so that next time when things feel overwhelming, you have already a track record. A track record. That's very important. Okay, so welcome to the live. For those who are just joining, we're gonna end the live in 2 minutes, but I want to open it up for any question that you may have in this moment, because today is June 1st. Today is June 1st. What is the plan that you set in place? What is the plan that you set in place? Remember, nothing changes until you put in the right strategy. Starting over is not an issue. You can start over at any time. But if you're starting over with the same strategy that never worked for you, then you're going to have the same result. And I was giving the example when I said I was going to go live for 100 days. I told myself I was going to go on live at 4 a.m. I showed up for 3 days going on live at 4 a.m. Day 4, I couldn't, even though I set up the alarm. I set up the alarm. Now what happened? So when I woke up, I was so disappointed. I woke up at 5 a.m. I was so disappointed. That is why I was asking my friend that needs to go on live at 1 if they can go on live at 2. I was so disappointed that I had to pull the blanket back to my head. I'm like, I'm not going on any live. It's either 4 or it's no other time for me. That's how hard we are on ourselves. We forget when you're setting your goals, you do not put into consideration nature, right? You're setting a goal, you're very hard on yourself. Remember when I talk about rejection? Rejection, the fact that you are hard on yourself can indicate that as in your childhood, maybe you went through rejection, maybe you went through abandonment. So as an adult, because the body keeps record of everything that has happened, as an adult, when you're setting your goals, there is no room, you did not leave in any room to appreciate yourself and keep showing up. And if you said, I'm gonna show up at a specific time, you start being hard on yourself, and you start insulting you start abusing yourself, okay, through the thoughts that is playing over and over and over and over. And this might just be what is happening to most of you right now. So for me, I'm like, it's either 4 or it's no time, any other time I will go on live. That's what I was saying. But in that moment, you can never sleep, Okay, so I pulled the blanket trying to sleep. I was on the bed now sleeping for 8 o'clock. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to get up. I cannot stay here and keep doing this. And this was in January, by the way, because at the beginning of the year, I said I was going to go live. So it was January. So day 4, I'm like, I'm not even going to do this live at all. Let me just go take shower. Then I step in the bathroom. As I was about to get ready to take shower, I heard this. And that's why you need to work with God, because He's compassionate, okay? And that's what you need also when you're doing identity work, because identity work is gonna bring about some things that that broke you down, things that people have said, the moment that you did not show up for yourself. So if you do not have compassion and self-love, you might be hard on yourself. So by the way, then and then I heard the Holy Spirit said this. He said, insanity is setting a goal without wisdom. Insanity is setting a goal without wisdom. And what does he mean by that? Because sometimes, maybe all the time, I go to bed at what? Sometimes at 1 a.m., okay? Or sometimes at 2 a.m. So how can I go to bed at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., expecting to wake up at 4 a.m. and do a live? I may show up, but I will show up doing a poor job. You see that? So there is a difference between showing up and, one moment, let me tell. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Did she leave? Okay, sorry. So how possible is it for me to wake up at 4? You see that? So you can show up but still not show up fully. You can show up and still not show up in the 100%, in totality, mind, emotion, presence. Because if you are not, how can you be connected to receive what you need in that moment? So it said insanity is setting a goal without what? Without wisdom. Because I wanted to prove that I can show up at 4 o'clock. I can do this, I can do that. So after that, that set me free. That set me free, you know? And guess what? Also, the reason why I end up now waking up at 4 a.m. is this. Oh my God. The reason why, and this might help someone right here, if you're struggling with showing up, ask yourself, what did you do the day before? Okay? When somebody said doom scrolling, which unfortunately we can also find ourselves doing that, right? So what you're forgetting is your tomorrow is set from today. Your next hours has been set from today, or they have been set in the morning, right? So when you say, for instance, when I said I was going to go live at 4, the reason why I end up now waking up at 4 was this. The day before, day 3, you know, I had a troll on my live. So their comments, that's why you need to regulate. It's very important. Their comments, because I wasn't able to release whatever it is, I went to bed with it. You see that? I went to bed with it. So the same way you go to bed is the same way you're going to wake up. The same way you end a new month is the same way you're going to start another month. The same way you end a new year is the same way you're going to start another year. So that's why it's very important to prepare the future. Most of you, even though you are in the present, you are in 2026, but a lot of you are stuck in 2020. You are here physically, but mentally, emotionally, you are replaying the things that have happened to you 2020, 2021, every year but 2026. Okay? So if you're struggling right now to show up consistently, you show up and then you disengage. And you're like, is this how my life is going to end? or you're working, but you're constantly rehearsing the shame pattern, the shame cycle, and you're tired, but you know you deserve more, you know you can achieve more, right? But you are stuck in rejection, abandonment, overthinking, not trusting yourself because your brain doesn't trust you right now. Before you even set the goal, you've already proving yourself right by not showing up. And you're like, if nothing is done, I'll keep repeating this. DM me info@coachsheffy.com. DM me at coachsheffy.com. And I have a group coaching session happening on June 27 for just few people. And I did it like that for a reason. And for those who sign up, there is a Afterpay, there is Klarna, there is a payment plan that most people are taking advantage of. That's why I know this is gonna fill up so quick, right? So if you want to take advantage of this group coaching session with the payment plan, go ahead and DM me at info@coachsheffy.com so that you can be part of this group coaching session. By the way, when you sign up, we have to have our first clarity call, okay? Because you're gonna be connected right away, but we're gonna have a clarity call to see if you're eligible to be part of this. Because I don't work with people that use trauma word, that don't want to do anything. They just want to be stuck. There's some people are like that. They just want, like, you know what? This is what when you work with people like that, it's too much of work, okay? So if you know that you're tired and really tired this time and you want to break out of this pattern, DM me at info@coachsheffy.com. Thank you so much for being here, and this is the moment where I say thank you to people. Let me disconnect from the other platform. By the way, you want to watch this on a replay, go on the big platform, the red one. It's on my bio. You see reset. You click on it, it will take you there. But it's also reset with Coach Sheffy. Reset with Coach Sheffy, where you'll be able to watch the replays with the things that I've shared here. Let me turn this off, and then I can say bye to people that are on. How do I turn this off? Okay, let's do this in front of the camera so that people will know. You will know. Okay, let's see, how do we do this? I'm using a different gadget today, so how do I turn this off? Okay, do you wish to end the live? Yes. Yes. Okay.